Eight-line machine and a sailor's daughter. Something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. 410 walls, now there ain't much left. Looking like a homeless cheers on left. Homer's in the corner, breaking up a fight. Good Lord, I hope I get paid tonight. I got a gig, baby. Burnt fried chicken and a Lone Star beer. Cops and the kids, they drink free around here. Girl behind the bar, taking what she's given. Lying about her past and trying to make a living. A broke pool table and some hard luck cues. Go tell your mama I done paid my dues. Everyone around here knows my name. 6 nights a week in the neon flame. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. Now there's an old line tamer parked behind the bar with 100 pounds of weed in a stolen car. Oil patch boys, girls who went to college, rules you don't break and laws that ain't acknowledged. A barefoot shrimper with a pistol up his sleeve. Some will go to heaven, some will never leave. Pills and a tip jar, blood on the strings. Oh Lord, I never thought I'd see these things. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. 8-line machine and a sailor's daughter. Something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. Thank you, my friend.
Can we get a training song?
Sure. Yeah, this has been a tough year, a lot of loss. Right about the time Rex passed, another friend and hero, one of my songwriting heroes, Todd Snyder, passed away. And one of a kind, man. There'll never be anybody else like Todd. Before I play this, let me talk a little bit about Todd. I met Todd the first time I came to Nashville, probably 2002, and I had a showcase, and Jack Ingram and he were buddies, and Jack told him he should come see me, and he did. And I remember walking out in the parking lot of the Exit Inn after my show, and Todd was out there with no shoes on, smoking a joint. And I thought, man, I didn't know you could do either of those things. And it was just so cool, and I was already a big fan. And he took me on tour with him. And at the end of the tour, I bought him a gift, like a thank you gift for taking me out on the road. It was a really big opportunity for me. I didn't have much of an audience outside of Texas, and to get in front of his crowd was really amazing, and just to get to watch him work every night was amazing. And he's a hard man to shop for, but I understood that he liked dogs, and I found this what I thought was a pretty unique and wonderful gift. It was a lamp that was shaped like a dog, but it also had a flower pot option in it. So it was like 3-in-1 thing. It was a lamp, a flower pot, and an art piece. And I bought it this for him, and I wrapped it up, and I left it on his porch in East Nashville with a letter thanking him. And I never heard anything from him about it, which was fine. But I used to follow Todd's interviews. When he would do press, it was always fascinating to me. There's some people, when I do interviews, I'm just very sincere, and I answer the question. And it's probably a very boring read. When Todd did interviews, it was a whole thing, and it was really fascinating. It was like watching Dylan talk to the press. He just took it wherever he wanted it. And so I always loved hearing what he had to say, whether he was being serious or not. It was brilliant in both aspects. And one day I'm reading an article, an interview with him, and my name pops up. And they're like, "Tell us about your new record, Todd." He says, "Well, first we got to talk about Hayes Carll." And I go, "Oh, this is exciting." And then he says, "It's just not right what the government did with his dog." And that threw me, primarily because I didn't own a dog. And that was it. And then he went on with the interview, right? A couple days later, I'm reading another interview. "Tell us about your record, Todd." He says, "Well, first of all, it's just bullshit that the government can kick down your door and take your dog like they did with Hayes Carll." Like new details are getting added to this story. And part of me is like, that is bullshit. They shouldn't be able to do that. And I'm like, and it just goes on and on. And by the end, it was the FBI came in the middle of the night, kicked down my door, tied me down, and stole my dog for unknown reasons. And Todd's very upset about it all. And he never, years later, I asked him, like, "Is it because I bought you that dog lamp flower pot combo thing?" And he just smiled, and he never said anything about it. But it's like... And another one of my favorite memories was down in Crystal Beach here. I used to throw a music festival called the Stingery Music Festival. And my dream was to get Todd to come down and play it. And I would reach out to him, or I reached out to his agent, who is now my agent, but at the time wasn't. And I reached out to the agent, and I said, "How much would it cost to get Todd to come down here for this singer-songwriter festival?" And he quoted me a number, and it was way more than I could afford. And so I did what you're not supposed to do. I went around the agent and went directly to the artist. And I went to Todd, I emailed him, and I said, "Hey, man, I got this little festival. I just would love for you to play it. Do you have any interest?" And he said, "If you'll give me an ounce of weed and a golf cart with my name on it, I'll do it." And I said, "Done." And he and his tour manager, Elvis, flew down to Houston, rented a car, drove 2 hours out to the Bolivar Peninsula. I had a golf cart that said Todd Snyder Rules in purple paint and an ounce of weed in the glove box. And he hung out there for 3 days and played the show for me. And, all right, last one I'll tell here. I live in Nashville, and one of the afternoon I was out walking my dog. I have this giant a dog named Winnie, and I'm out walking her. And Todd lives about 30 miles away, or 30 minutes away from where I live. And we never talked on the phone until the last year of his life. It was all emails for 25 years. I got an email alert, and I look at it, and it's Todd. And he says, "It looks like you're out walking your dog, Winnie." I was like, "Well, that's weird." And I'm looking around, and I don't see Todd, and I don't know how this is happening. And so I put the phone back in my pocket, and I keep walking. And then I come across this lovely, attractive woman walking her dog, and I stop to chat her up a bit. And she's wearing a pretty white cotton dress. And I get another email alert, and I look at it, it says, "She's really pretty, you should hit on her." And now I'm kind of paranoid. I'm like, there's no one around. And this just goes on for a while. And finally, I just have to go inside. I can't handle it. And I go inside, and I found out a little later that Todd had a good friend who lived in an apartment complex across the street who had binoculars. And he was watching my whole thing and like relaying to Todd what was happening. And then Todd would email me. And so it was funny, but it kind of pissed me off, to be honest. It was like I felt violated in some way. And so I thought, I'm going to get him back. I'm going to prank Todd Snyder. And so I went to his tour manager, Brian. I said, what's a weak spot with Todd? Like, what's something I could really mess with him about? And he said, well, it's hard to say, but something kind of odd to me is that he's really into the music of Corey Feldman these days. Yeah, that's what I said. Not the acting, the music of Corey Feldman, which I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's an experience, you know. There's a lot happening there. And so I went on this, there's an app called Cameo, which I'm on, by the way, plug. And you can hire, you know, everything from musicians to actors to wrestlers to reality TV stars to whatever, to like wish you happy birthday or congratulate you or, you know, to do any number of things. And just, it's a really cool gift idea. And Corey Feldman was on there. And it was $300 to hire Corey Feldman, but I thought, this is worth every penny. And so I hired, I'm only 100, by the way. Father's Day's tomorrow. I got all night. Last minute shopping. So I hired Corey Feldman, and I asked him to congratulate Todd on the release of his new record. And Corey does the video, and I send it to Todd, and I just titled it, "Look Who's Talking About You." And I told Brian, his tour manager, that this was happening, and so Brian's giving me a minute-by-minute report, and he says, "Oh my God, Todd just saw it. He's freaking out." Because it's like a 10-minute video. Mostly we've got Corey talking about Corey, but he does spend some time. He does spend quite a bit of time congratulating Todd. And Todd thought it was, wasn't familiar with Cameo. He didn't know that that's what this was. He just thought Corey Feldman had recorded a video about how awesome Todd was. And Brian told me that Todd made him pull the truck over. They were driving. He made him pull the truck over and was just kind of jumping up and down and excited about it. And finally, Brian had to relay the news that this was me pranking Todd. And for years, ever since after that happened, he was just like, every time he'd be like, you got me. There. He was very impressed with my commitment to, yeah. Anyway, just a complete total legend and one of the best to ever do it, and a really good friend. And so, this is for Todd. Smoking long black Cadillac, the engine's winding down. He parked it up on the sidewalk like he owned the whole damn town. I'd hear him talking to some chick through a thick ghost of smoke, through a thicker haze of southern comfort and coke. Said, girl, you're hotter than the hinges hanging off the gates of hell. Don't be afraid to turn to me, babe, if he don't treat you well. And by he meant me. So I laughed and I shook his hand. And he'd laugh a little bit louder as he'd yell up at the band, play a train song, pour me one more round, make him leave my boots on when they lay me into the ground. I am a runaway locomotive out of my one-track mind. and I'm looking for any kind of trouble that I can find. I got this old black leather jacket, I got this pack of Marlboro Reds, I got this stash here in my pocket, and these thoughts in my own head. The right to run until I've got to walk, or till I've got to crawl. This moment that I'm in right now, and nothing else at all. Play a train song, pull me one more round, make them leave my boots on, they lay me into the ground. I am a runaway locomotive out of my one-track mind. Television blizzard lights. We looked around his place. We found him cold there on the sofa, a little smile across his face. And though I tried with all my sadness, somehow I just could not weep for a man who looked to me like he died laughing in his sleep, singing a train song, drinking one last round. We made him leave his shoes off on the day we laid him down. He was a runaway locomotive out of his one-track mind. Play a train song, play a train song, play a train song. For everybody, Todd. All right, everybody, I got one more for you, and then cut you loose. Thank you so much for coming out. And, this, you know, it's. I say this every night. I would do this every night, whether anybody showed up or not, and I have many times. But I've discovered over the last, 30 years that it's a hell of a lot more fun when people show up. Thank you for spending your hard-earned money to come out here and support live music, support the Old Quarter. It means the world to me, and it's always so special to be back in this place. Everything that has happened in my career started here. I would not have a career if it weren't for this place, if it weren't for Rex Bell, and it's. Keep it going, keep coming back, and thank you guys. Shooting stars and whiskey bottles all scattered across the yard. I'd have stayed back home in Houston if I'd known it'd be this hard. Oh, but as it is, I'm busted. I'm broke down across the bay, and I might not make December if we keep carrying on this way. Pretty girls and deep depressions, they keep falling from the sky. I got all the time in heaven, but no sense to wonder why. And the nights have all gone crazy, and the bars have all shut down. One day I swear I'll blow it all, pack up and leave this town. And sometimes I get so tired of telling right from wrong. Hey, I'm glad came, just wish I hadn't stayed so long. Now here I am in Music City, lost hearts and neon signs, and I can't seem to remember what I came so far to find. Police cars and paper money, motel rooms and cigarettes. Yeah, to tell you, you ain't nothing, just in case you might forget. And I can hear that country music from the window up above. Do they do it for the money, or do they do it for the love? Bourbon eyes and stolen pistols, it seems all that comes my way. I'm gonna burn down all my bridges, grab a car and drive away. And sometimes I can't believe I did all that for a song. Hey, I'm glad I came, just wish I hadn't stayed so long. We could make Louisiana in 2 hours' time, and we could pull off of the highway by the big casino sign, and we could pack up all our wishes and then bet them all on black. Hit the lights of Mississippi with the south wind at our backs, and it's always been the same down every road I've come. Hey, I'm glad I came, just wish I hadn't stayed so long. Thank y'all for staying so long, everybody.